There is a power in repetition. The power is not in and of itself in the repetition, but repetition is powerful. Most of us repeated consciously or unconsciously that I am separate in the world and I need to survive. We probably didn't utter those words, but through our actions and the beliefs and the programming that we was born into, that's what the message is of that program. So if there's a sense of hunger, then the survival for that is to go and eat. It doesn't make it bad. It's just that I need to survive. That is what that means, because hunger in and of itself doesn't mean anything. It's just a sense and a feeling. And if we don't put a label to it, it can be an uncomfortable feeling, or it can just be seen as a feeling. And that is the simplicity of life. And so for however many years, or if you have a belief or a knowing or an idea of being here many lifetimes, we would have repeated that same pattern of existence of I am separate and I need to survive. And that is the entrance into the human game. And so that mantra or that belief or that idea is ingrained into the psyche, and it plays on autopilot, and it becomes so normal that we are not aware of it. And if we want to know what we are believing, all we have to do is look around our environment, and it depends how open we are. We can know our beliefs that way. So we got in through repetition, repeated actions, repeated thoughts, repeated feelings, just pure repetition. And it's as if we was bombarded with it. It was just constantly coming in, constant. And there's no space to move when that's happening, but we're just stuck. We can feel stuck. And it's because of the repetition of operating as a body with a mind and emotions. There is a way that's out, and it is effortless. And it is to repeat the words yes and thank you. I've just done a video on it, and it was in response to understanding that the past and the future is only in the present moment. So I have done that video, so I'm not going to talk about that here. I'm going to talk more about the practice. So in practical terms, in reality, something shows up in your environment, and that thing, let's use a challenge, because that's the only time that we really look for solutions, is when we're being challenged. So something shows up, and it can be an event, it can be something somebody's doing, it could be the mind, it can be quite traumatic in the mind. There could be a repeated thought that's not a nice thought, which is coupled with the emotion. It can be grief, it can be sadness, loneliness, and this thing is showing up. And then there's a sense of it happening to me. And it's not to disregard any of the human programs at all. Love does not do that. Love accepts everything. But if you could, as this thing shows up, if you could just notice that you are aware of it. It's just the noticing that you're aware of it. You might not like it, you might not understand it, you might want to push it away. All of that is fine. We're not talking about that. We're not doing therapy. We're just going to be authentically real and notice. Be aware that you know that this thing is here. Then just say yes. You're not saying yes to what's showing up. No. You're not saying yes to anything that's showing up. You're saying yes to being aware of it, because you are. If you use the power of yes, and then if you keep on saying yes, so if you keep reaffirming, so let's just use an example that sadness arises and it comes with a reason, it comes with a memory. It's, somebody's done something or something's happened and there's a reason to be sad. We're not looking at that. Let's not push it aside and discount it. It's here. This thing is here. And then it's to just ask yourself, am I aware of this? Yes. And then ask yourself again, am I aware of this? Yes. Am I aware of this? Yes. That thing may get louder. It may appear to be bigger. Hold your ground and just keep asking yourself the question, am I aware of this? Yes. 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 That's the mantra. That's the repetition. Then, if you can, ask yourself, am I aware of this? Answer it with yes. And then just say thank you. And that thank you is you're saying thank you for saying yes. So we're not feeding anything that's coming up. We're not trying to fight anything that's coming up. We're not doing anything to it. We are simply yielding to overcome. Am I aware of this? Yes. Thank you to that yes. If I kid you not, if you keep asking that question until you will feel an energetic shift, which is a feeling of power, and it has a tinge of happiness. Ramp. Really go, am I aware of this? Yes, thank you. Am I aware of this? Yes, thank you. It might take 5 minutes. It might take 10 minutes. It might take 30 minutes. Keep going, because it's through repetition of no, it's through repetition of resistance that thing is there. So the way out is the way that we got in with repetition, but you are repeating now the opposite frequency. That frequency of known resistance is dense, it's sticky, it's push and pull, and it hurts. Leave it alone. It's already been created. Don't touch it. Don't try to recreate something. Leave it. Just ask yourself, am I aware of this? Yes. Thank you to the yes. Am I aware of this? Yes, thank you. 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 When you ask, am I aware of this? You are being awareness. There's no seeking. You're not seeking. You're being aware. Am I aware of this? Yes. It sounds like a stupid question. Like, what a stupid... Of course I'm aware. Don't add nothing. Just say yes. Am I aware of this? Yes. Thank you. Am I aware of this? Yes. Thank you. When you've asked that question over and over and over, you can shortcut it now. You can just say yes. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Yes, thank you. You can ask the question silently to yourself as a thought. Am I aware of this? But say yes. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. It's very powerful because you've stopped resisting the present moment. You're not feeding that low vibration thing that's showing up. You're not resisting it. You're not pushing it away. You're not saying it's not real. You're not using any spiritual language. You're just being real. You're being authentic by asking yourself that question. Am I aware of this? Yes, thank you. Thank you to the yes. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. The idea is to have a mantra. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. And you'll start to smile. The energy will lift and lift. Even if the thing gets big, it's to ask, am I aware of this? Yes, thank you. Now. When something shows up and it really grabs our energy and we feel small and little and we feel like we've lost self-realization, or I don't want no spirituality, this thing is really important, it's really big, it's a real big challenge, it might not be easy to use that practice in the middle of the challenge. So it really is about, um, if truth and freedom is what you really, really, really want, the best time to practice that, am I aware of this? Yes, thank you, is when nothing is happening that is challenging. Because I know that when nothing is happening, we forget and think, oh, life's fine, it's okay. It's a roller coaster. It's really about establishing that no matter what's happening, it is a roller coaster. It goes up, we have nice experiences, it goes down, and we don't. Some of us can have like a frequency of low things happening, like, oh God, one thing after the other, one thing after the other, of things that we don't want to experience and not really experiencing any high. And some of us experience more happy things and every so often a dip, and then you're like, oh, I need to get back up again, and you're happy. So it doesn't really matter, it's a roller coaster. But the thing that sets you free is the language. That's what sets people free. We've been repeating silently, unconsciously, automatically, no, 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 no. And so we change it to yes, thank you, yes, thank you. But we do it with understanding. So a simple practice is, if you're able to, when you wake up in the morning or any time of the day, just take 5 minutes when there's no challenge. That's the easiest route. When there's no challenge, to just let something be there. It can be like, I've got a ruler. And how do I experience this ruler? I can see it. So I can see a ruler on my desk. So I say, am I aware? I can say, am I aware of that ruler? Yes, thank you. Am I aware? Yes, thank you. Am I aware? Yes, thank you. Am I aware? Yes, thank you. 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 And then you make that your inner mantra as you're walking around doing your housework, going to work, dealing with the children, dealing with your husband, dealing with your wife, driving. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. And what happens is that then stops resisting. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Things will fly up. I'm not saying that things are not going to come up, because we've been saying no, and we've got this field and it's got potential, it's got possibility. And potential and possibility means what it is. Is there a potential for the self to believe that it's not the self? Yes. Is it possible for the self to believe that it's asleep and needs to wake up? Yes. Potential and possibility is neither negative or positive, it is potential and possibility. So because there's a potential and possibility for good, bad, indifferent, it is easier, quicker, and effortless to notice what arises. Ask yourself, am I aware of this? Yes. Say thank you to that yes. Am I aware of this? Yes, thank you. Am I aware of this? Yes, thank you. If the mind starts to go crazy, which it probably will, then you say, am I aware of that? Yes, thank you. And it will probably get even louder. But am I aware of it? Yes, thank you. An emotion can come up. Fear. Am I aware of the fear? Yes. Thank you. Am I aware of it? Yes, thank you. When you stop fighting what appears, you are pulling your power out of that which is what you don't want. That is the simplicity of effortless being. It's to check, am I aware? Yes, thank you. Am I aware? Yes, thank you. Forget whether it's personal or impersonal. Just ask the question. As long as the answer is yes, and you say thank you to that yes, it's the yes and the thank you that changes the emotional frequency-based game of experiences. And when you say yes and thank you, those experiences become heightened, And that heightened state is closest to our true nature. Have a good day.